Hello everyone and welcome to another SCPH replay sent in by the community. This one gonna be a Hypers 1 TVT is the way to go. Let's introduce our players here on the top left on that red turn. It's gonna be a PhyNix. In the meantime, here on the bottom right, TASolid maybe gonna be giving us a solid in just a bit. So you guys might not notice that there aren't that many health bars right now. I'm gonna try something new. Got a little bit of suggestion to remove always health bars. Maybe, just maybe, it would be better to go on to damaged instead. So yeah, we'll see how this is gonna go. Let me know your thoughts. I do want to make this as optimal as possible for the community. But anyway, we are going to start things off with very standard stuff here on Cyberforest LE. Top left, bottom right, very far distance. Really the farthest point away from each other in the map. But those expansions very close. Can go for the second easily by walling off the ramp. We'll see if either are going to do so. So it seems like PhyNix and TASolid gonna be playing the standard Terran opening ramp. Will get walled off by the barracks, of course, and the supply depots, maybe even the add-on along the way. We have seen a few players who have forgotten to actually, wall up with the add-on. So we'll see. Maybe PhyNix does remember, will invest heavy on that gas at the start. He did get a little bit earlier, a little behind in terms of the minerals, but all in all, pretty solid, pretty even between the two. And the fact of the matter, TASolid gonna get that orbit command first on out. Just to be a very short lead. And this is just basically TVT. Whoever has that minuscule advantage might turn into the big one. TASolid now building up the Reaper. PhyNix gonna do the same. It has been more or less a mirror matchup between the two so far. It did the 2-minute mark. And really, it's always good to see a standard gameplay. It's like, there's a reason why it's meta. It's a reason why this is the opening. But at the same time, when you are playing the meta, it does open you up for something a little cheeky. Sometimes it's like something you won't expect when you're expecting a similar opening or something you've studied, something you've seen, and you get something else like some cheese, It's all about adaptation. Now, unfortunately for PhyNix, he doesn't have the wall up as of yet. Of course, he's waiting for that extra resource and his production finish before he gets that add-on ready to go. Probably going to be a tech lab, but no, he's pumping up a number of Reapers. Interesting opening here from PhyNix. Going to be a Hellion as well. So basically, this whole opening is very offensive. Going to be very quick on the trigger finger and very fleet-footed at the same time. The Hellion very fast. The Reaper very pesky. Can go for combat heals, but in the meantime, TASolid going to be playing this one smart. A bunker, very useful for any kind of defense. Needs it on his second base because he is expanding first and foremost, and really the power of the scout working out in favor of TASolid. This bunker gonna protect the Marines as they try and face off against the Hellion. At the same time, the Reaper can give chase to his counterparts. So we'll see how this is gonna pan out. So TASolid in the lead right now in terms of that economy. PhyNix in the meantime trying to give chase, but he does have a number of tech structures ready to go. 1-1-1. When in doubt, go the 1-1-1 for the Terran. You need all those structures in the first place to get your tech tree up and running. And look at this, tech labs are abound. We are gonna get a Cyclone pumped up as well as a Raven. Anti-armor will do heavy damage, especially with those missiles. In the meantime, we have an engagement. The Reapers on the opposite end getting some really good hits, and with 3 Reapers, you can easily shut down an SCV or 2. But now here comes the damage being done. The Marines on the outside, and PhyNix just being a little bit of a pest. It's just like a mosquito. Unless you have dengue, it's not going to be as painful as it can be. Yeah, overall, just going to be a reset here between our two Terrans. And have you guys been practicing? Have you guys... I haven't really heard too much news about the SEA Games and the StarCraft thing, but honestly, for anyone looking to represent the Philippines, looking to get the gold for the country under this game, that'd be really cool. Not many people expected StarCraft to be the thing. It's not really the biggest thing in the first place in the SEA region, but at the same time, it's very rooted in esports, very rooted to become a sport in general. 1v1 nature, very easy to determine a winner. and it has always been the pioneer in so many aspects of the electronic age. But yeah, StarCraft 2. This is gonna be the way to go. The medevac's gonna be flying on in with siege tanks and the marines. Very standard here for TASolid. It seems like he has a solid knowledge of the mechanics, as we do get the shift clicks on the right hand side. But what's this? The Raven is cawing. It's just looking around, patrolled on that top part, and now TASolid gonna see that Raven, and we got the disruption matrix, interference matrix, whatever it's called. Basically, it shuts down those two siege tanks. Here comes the surround. The SCVs will take a chunk of the damage, but damn, PhyNix playing that one smart. Worker revolution, just gonna dismantle those siege tanks for dinner. And unfortunately, the medevac only gonna get one marine on the outside. The Raven can chase. The Vikings are gonna get that takedown. And I love that. That was so smart there from PhyNix. Them interference matrix on point, quickly casted, enough energy for 2. And that is gonna be a stellar first defense. So PhyNix now gonna get the opportunity to come back in terms of that economy. He did invest a lot on the tech and the tech tree, and it does pay off for him with those Ravens. So honestly, the Ravens are a lot better unit now than ever before. They still have their auto turrets. Honestly, you could say their most useless ability, but at the same time, it's still good to do some direct damage. Yeah, the interference matrix is pretty much just is like an EMP effect, shuts it down, and you can pretty much hit it a lot. Just hamper it, take care of mech along the way. And finally, anti-armor missile. While I do miss the Seeker drone, I do miss that AoE damage. Anti-armor missile, such a good debuff, really putting in the support for the Raven and its structure. Now the real question is, does the Raven have someone on the inside? Like, if you look at the portrait of the Raven, it usually is a guy on a computer, and I think that's someone in the command center or whatever. But you have Vikings on the offset as well. That one's gonna be manned. Everything else is manned here. The Hellion gonna have someone inside the Cyclone as well. The Siege Tank, they're all vehicles that need a driver at the wheel. Speaking of driver, PhyNix just driving now those bases home, already ready for a third and even a fourth. PhyNix, very ambitious, getting a little greedy on the expansion, and TASolid has noticed as those command centers are being built. Now he is going to go on the outside again, going to go on the offensive. We've got third base up and running. Now this is a rare sight to see on something I assume to be a higher level game, based on the play from these two Terrans so far. A sensor tower. So this is seen by the opponent, so he knows there's a sensor tower there. Honestly, with a sensor tower up and running, it's like, okay, I won't even bother going there. I can go skirt around the outskirts of another part of the map. Now here we go, we engage it. Cyclone gonna get some lock-ins, a lot of damage being done. Oh, the siege tanks barraging against one another, but the high ground Anakin so strong, gonna lead to PhyNix having the advantage. So prime position again here for the Red Saren, and the Vikings as well as the Ravens have taken notice. Interference matrix coming out, not gonna happen. TASolid instead can decide to retreat. But yeah, I'm still on the center tower. I'm just pretty surprised to see it. There's usually a load more of options for you to invest those minerals and gas. That one Marine playing the scout gonna get taken down, and this is gonna be a trade already. PhyNix gonna give up his third base immediately. Quick cancels done by that Red Saren. Siege tanks and Marines doing some damage, but here comes the intercept. Pincer attack on full force. Interference matrix gonna get one, make that two, and these Marines stutter stepping in. Big damage being done by the infantry. But overall, PhyNix again able to defend TASolid. So pressure, just keep on pressuring, just keep on hitting, and keep on putting PhyNix on his toes. As I say that PhyNix is always on his toes. It seems like he's been studying the art of the ballerina, because he's always on point with that micro. Sees when his opponent is coming, gets a good hit or two. TASolid in the meantime a little better on that macro, but unfortunately it leaves many of his units to just die on the outset. So here we go again. 3 bases up and running still for TASolid. In the meantime, beautiful drop play, pressure. All about that pressure, all about that base, no treble, pressure is the way to go. TASolid now into the middle line, just taking care of those SCVs. And this just reminds me all the time when we see Marines bullying poor SCVs back in grade school. Whenever you'd see the bully just hit on the nerd, just keep on hammering onto him. Not hit on the thing in the sense that, you know, romantic kind of deal, but literally just smack him in the face, ask for lunch money, steal his lunch. That's pretty much it. The nerd does all the hard work. The bullies, the Marines, just get the reward. And in the end, it's still a bigger loss to society when you lose the nerd over that bully. But you know, it is what it is. Hopefully life does have its comeuppance. As we move back into StarCraft, it seems like the pace slowly but surely settling on down, but here comes another crescendo. It's a roller coaster ride within this game. TASolid still having a number of units. Same old though. Marines, siege tanks, as well as this medevac. But behind this, he has been upgrading, double pumped those infantry upgrades for both +1 on infantry and armor. Oh, make that +2 already. +1 coming our way for vehicles as well. And still medevacs on the opposite. Now, sometimes this is a problem for a player who knows too much about their own strategy. They get stuck in their ways. I've seen the same composition again for TASolid, and again, Marine, Siege Tank, Medevac, very, very strong, it's very reliable comp, but maybe, or maybe just maybe, TASolid should be building something else behind this, something like maybe Battlecruisers, maybe some Tours, maybe some Banshees for some harassment, maybe also mix up some Marauders as well, because we're seeing a pretty hefty armored composition here from PhyNix. Can easily take down those siege tanks. Unfortunately, of course, the Marauders can't hit those aerial types, but damn, the Vikings on point again with those medevacs. And now, here's what I'm saying. TASolid stuck in his ways with the drop play, but the Vikings so strong, taking care of those medevacs that are just all alone, and at the same time can just turn into assault mode, go on the ground, and just get a gun down those Marines. Yeah, TASolid though, waiting on the outside, maybe just maybe we'll decide to do something else. And as I say that, there you go! That's a boy, gonna bring out some Thors. The Hammer of Reckoning is here, and the Thor very strong with those cannons, pretty effective as well against swarms like this. Very good against swarms of Mutalisks, swarms of Vikings, those anti-air missiles having that splash damage, reminiscent a little bit of the Valkyrie from back then. And I always mention the Valkyrie from time to time, especially when I see some Vikings, when I see some Liberators. Because honestly, back in StarCraft 1, one of my favorite Terran units, I would usually go for a composition which involved what? Marine, Firebat, Medic, Siege Tank of course, and then I would have Valkyries and Science Vessels as well as my bread and butter. I wasn't really the type of player who would enjoy building up Battlecruisers, and I wasn't the type of player to play Terran in the first place. But here we go with the brawl. Siege Tank's gonna get sieged on up. Stim back there. Desperation time from TASolid, but the splash damage being done. And interesting to note, he didn't siege up his own siege tanks. So he's going for the basic cannons, but damn, PhyNix taking a beating after that one. TASolid throwing caution to the wind, and it does pay off. Now scans coming on out. Here comes the siege mode. Big hits being done, but PhyNix does have a little bit of an advantage from the high ground and the first strike. Initial hits coming there, but now this one siege tank not doing his job. TASolid forcing that fort base to go down quickly, but he doesn't really have enough to go for another attack. Still good hit there from TASolid. It's pretty much a hit squad kind of thing, take care of this base, but he did take a lot of casualties along the way. So more or less a reset in the scheme of things. TASolid still in the lead, 5 bases up and running. Look at that economy, and he's spending a lot of minerals along the way. Now, I've only noticed this now, but PhyNix doesn't have any upgrades whatsoever. Only gonna get +1 on his vehicles just right now. Not really going too much with the engineering bay as well. So maybe PhyNix needs to work a little bit again on his macro. Micro has been good so far. Able to get that siege mode on out. Unfortunately, I didn't really see some interference matrices there, but it you know, it goes to show that sometimes it's just way too much to handle in the first place. So what did I talk about before this? Oh yeah, StarCraft. So yeah, in StarCraft, the comp I was talking about with the Terran, but on Protoss, I did just love Charge Lot Archon, something I still play on StarCraft 2. Good load there from TASolid. The Liberators trying to bait Shaky. Here we go with a push, and it's just gonna be like, hey, this is our base now, and TASolid is like, okay, you can have it. But yeah, what do I like in Protoss? Zealots and Archon. I didn't really like Storms back then. I wasn't, I felt it was very clunky. I know, of course, it's very strong, but I wasn't really the most competitive player during StarCraft 1. I think I was so young, and the big boys. The big boys are coming, guys. The big boys are coming. So this is what PhyNix has been up to. He's not going for infantry much, because we are gonna see some plating coming our way. We are gonna see Yamato cannon being built as well. Ships +1. Because here come the cruisers! Here come the cruisers, guys. TASolid, though, will not take that saying down. Gonna do the same thing. And again, TASolid getting my commends. Able to tech switch after a little bit of stagnation. That's exactly what you want to do on higher tier play. You don't want to get stuck in one thing. You want to be flexible. And now, sensor towers built by PhyNix this time. Interesting approach. I'm seeing something a little newer between these two players. Someone tell me what's going on. What's with the resurgence of sensor towers in the first place? But yeah, an early detection sign for PhyNix coming into the 2s. TASolid gonna be only having one, just in case he doesn't want to see any side flanks or drop play. He wants to see where his opponent's gonna be coming from in the middle part of the map. So this time, guys, a very simple tactic being done by PhyNix. This is called a creeping barrage. You can also see this in trench warfare, honestly reminiscent of World War I kind of deal. Slowly but surely, you push your enemy's lines, you put your artillery, you put your infantry, that kind of deal in a trench, and there you go, that's the show. That does give PhyNix more map control than he should. Scans keep coming on that. TASolid in the meantime skirting those sensor towers, and has PhyNix taken notice. He does have a good number of missile turrets in position, but here we go with the thrusters, and they're trying to jet on in, but one medivac falls without anything coming on. Now the 16 Marines gonna be a band of brothers, make that one Marauder alongside this. Now the heals are coming, and where is the army? Now here comes TASolid. Oh, they're gonna get trapped on the inside. Damn! PhyNix playing with his structures, but this arc raid won't come out. Will it make it? Oh, that was so close. That was actually so close. And PhyNix might be sweating bullets after that one, because that was just way too close. Damn, PhyNix catching a lucky break, getting plating level 2 just before it goes down. In the meantime, we see some Ewoks just dancing on the north part of Cyber Forest LE, and TASolid, if he does watch this, he might be a little salty. He almost got the cancel. He almost got the cancel on that armory, but no cigar. Anyway, after that ambitious drop play, PhyNix has decided to play a little bit of a ninja, and TASolid's just scouting around. Oh, what is this? What is this base? What is this base doing here? I don't think this is your side, good sir. I don't think you should be here. Where's your VIP pass? Where are the tickets? Where's your backstage pass? I know someone. I know the band. No, you're getting the hell out of here. And PhyNix decides, okay, time to go. That's it. That's the show. At the same time, TASolid's a little paranoid right now after everything that's been going on. He doesn't actually send in his big army. He lets this command center float on away. He's thinking maybe, okay, this is a distraction. PhyNix, the moment I come out of position on the middle part, he's gonna charge on it and take care of a base or two. In the meantime, though, I like seeing this from some Terrans who don't really play too greedy. It's a very smart tactic to do when you have a frontline command center. Planetary Fortress over to command. Yes, you do lose a little bit of utility. No mules, no extra supply, no scans. But at the same time, that PF will allow your base to still hold on. And look at this orbital command sees the army coming. This is going to be a very big hit. Vikings in position, not sieging on down, just tanking up the missile turret. In the meantime, the back cruisers in the back. And it's just sad. Like, you're a Viking pilot, right? And you're just watching this missile turret turn you to dust. The battle cruisers, though, getting in position again. Lots of missile turrets, getting some damage done. Oh, the warp on in! Tactical jump behind enemy lines. Very ambitious, and this is what the Armada gameplay is going to be for. Here comes the interference matrix, though, courtesy of the Ravens. And the Ravens are so pesky. This time, it's TASolid taking advantage. Missiles are abound. And this is so many casualties on both. And the battle cruiser versus battle cruiser fights out in the skies of Cyber Forest LE. But in the end, of course, the defense having the advantage, more DPS being done by the structures. TASolid getting some really good hits though against the opposing fleets, and we go for another reset. So damn, honestly, I've seen a bunch of highlight where they highlight really plays so far in this game, and this one doesn't really disappoint. It's 20 minutes in, I haven't had the urge to actually fast forward. It seems like every little step is something that is active. Now speaking of activity, TASolid on point again, wants to just cock block any potential attempts to go for another expansion. In the meantime, we are getting a number of upgrades again for the armory, plating +3, ship +3. TASolid, I believe, had the same thing, and yeah, there you go. TASolid 3 on ships and armor, 2 on infantry and weapons and armor rather. In the meantime, what do we have from PhyNix? I know he is a little bit behind on those upgrades, trying to chase after and trying to come on back. And that extra +1 really going to show for TASolid. Getting an upgrade early and having the advantage in terms of that economy, in terms of that army supply, paying dividends. You go in a disadvantageous position and you don't come out behind, you come out pretty even. PhyNix again has to play a little bit more defensively, and he is trying to min-max his minerals and gas. Look at that, 1k to 8k here for TASolid. Might be a little bit of a struggle. He should be spending those minerals and gas a little more, but he doesn't really have the space to do so. Instead, he's going to be playing hefty, going for battle cruisers as much as possible. Has a few Thors in position as well, and this sometimes worries me, guys. So as a Terran, as a Protoss, as a Zerg, you always want to be on your highest tech units when you're into late game, but sometimes you get stuck in your ways. And it seems like TASolid is looking to only play a ship so far. He does get a few infantry along the way, but he has made those quite expendable. We'll see how this is going to pan out. He can't even expand too much anymore. If he spends any more supply on SCVs, it's not going to be as efficient as can be. So let's do a quick little head count on the bases. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this isn't even base anymore. This is also the base. 3, 4. 4 bases up and running for TASolid. It has a 5th in position, but unfortunately can't be used. In the meantime, here for PhyNix, he has actually abandoned the minerals for his 1st and 2nd. He has decided to go on the outskirts, and I like this. Very ambitious play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still so pretty even in the bases. TASolid all max out and is coming for the attack. So this is the timing window here for TASolid. He still has the advantage on those battle cruisers. If he does commit, he might be able to get some good hits. But now that advantage is slowly dwindling. We have seen +1 vehicles here for PhyNix as we see a rotation. 2-pronged attack between the blue Terran and the bases of the red hand side. TASolid bring out the Marines and the Thors. And he's like, okay, I expect you to have a lot of missile turrets in position, and I'm gonna send ground units instead. Apparently missile turrets can't look down, can't shoot down there, and this is enough damage being done by this one mech on this one base. Gamma cannon for extra, extra sparkle for PhyNix. And we are coming to a point that it is really just gonna be the skies of Cyber Forest that are gonna dictate the flow of this game. We are seeing scans about standard late game stuff between two Terrans. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing enough creeping barrage here for PhyNix. He does have the position. He can push on out just a little more. In the meantime, I would say TASolid should be doing the same. He has so many minerals. He has so much gas in the bank. He can just pump out all the upgrades in the world, get every kind of upgrade for all the tech tree 100% it out, and as well have lots of loose chains for missile turrets all about this part of the map. Might be a little spoiler for later on. We'll see, because I'm just analyzing things right now. I never really watch the replays beforehand. Sometimes I'm like, okay, so this isn't really the best game, and I fast forward. But yeah, this TASolid missile turrets advantage not there. And what the hell is this? Is that the range upgrade for buildings? But here we go, Yamato cannons are bound, tactical jump. PhyNix with that surround. And was that just a case of micro from PhyNix winning things out, dodging those Yamatos, now moving around using the battle cruisers with their mobile attack to get some good hits. TASolid and PhyNix though, it's just a blob of battle cruisers right now. They're just flying about. TASolid still with the advantage. And unfortunately for PhyNix, he does waste a little bit of DPS going for the tactical jumps. Now the Yamato Cannons are sure to hit. Counter Yamato Cannon here from PhyNix, but TASolid with the advantage again. So sure, TASolid wins that fight, and he's gonna have so many minerals and gas in the bank. But still, the PhyNix, you can't just A-move against this red Terran, because he's being so proactive with these missile turrets. And TASolid, if he loses one fight when everything is all evened out, that might be the show, because the Battlecruiser can just go for a tactical jump on one of the bases, easily shut it down. No real way here for TASolid to go on defensive. He has to win the offense. Interference Matrix right now coming on out. These two Battlecruisers just trying to float away. In the meantime, here we go again. And PhyNix really making these Ravens count, making these Ravens have some really good value. Tactical jump on the outside. I love seeing that. It's just something really technologically marvelous to see. They get on out, they use light speed, they have the silhouettes, and they just fade away. I wish like Star Wars would have done it more. I honestly didn't like The Last Jedi as much as everything else. Even worse than Phantom Menace, as I say. But here we go with a brawl on the outskirts of PhyNix's borders. Hits coming on as the starts being cleaned up. Here we go, attacking the jump. Yamato Cannons though from the northeast side. And we'll talk about movies later, because we are going to see the Starship Troopers face off one by one. The Battlecruisers just keeping the cannons on going. 80 lasers abound. You can see these small fireballs flying off into the distance. But again, a smaller reset. TASolid though might be overextending, overreaching. Missile turrets in position, getting some good hits. And the Yamato to go for the chase down. So yeah, another reset between the two. TASolid though seemingly will be able to shut down this base. So a little bit more of a siege sphere from the blue Terran. Very, very medieval tactic. You cut off the supplies, you cut off the resources, and slowly but surely your opponent will falter. Even though there is no real concept of having to eat every day in StarCraft, TASolid going for the choke, and the noose is getting tighter. But in the meantime, PhyNix clinging on to life, saying that I want to live, mom and dad. And he's trying to get some good hits with the Battlecruiser, but now he has to retreat. Unfortunately here for PhyNix, not enough gas to build many Battlecruisers. In the meantime, TASolid, big numbers behind him. And we are just seeing the Battlecruiser. Reminds me of those no rush maps. Just build that biggest unit, and that's the show. So I saw about Protoss while ago in StarCraft. I think I said the Zealot Archon. I never liked Reavers, I never liked High Temp because I was a lot younger. But as I grew older, you can make it a little more useful. But I do like Protoss now more than ever. Terran, I feel like still the same identity. Zerg, here and there, little changes here and there, but it's pretty much the same as well. But yeah, it is what it is. There was something else I was talking about. Oh yeah, movies. So I was talking about The Last Jedi, guys, right? And there was that scene, spoilers I guess, where they just freaking hyperdrive into that ship, and that is just damn cool. Like, I would love to see that from something like a very evil race of what? Zombies or what? Like mech? Something like a la Halo, a la Mass Effect, where they just literally bombard you with ships through light speed, hit you on the inside, and that's one of the best parts of the movie. I would say the biggest best part, because that was just really cool. It's so logical if you think about it. Like, why hasn't anyone really done this? It is a suicide jump, but if you're a really bad guy, it's a faction that doesn't care about life, it's just like, oh, you can do it. Infest some more, get some more zombies, assimilate, that kind of deal. But the rest of the movie is crap, especially the whole Princess Leia floating and the weird will they, won't they from Luke. It's like, it's a little iffy. Yeah, it's a bunch of questionable decisions on The Last Jedi. Hopefully, episode 9, The Rise of the Skywalker, will be really cool. It seems like Rise of the Skywalker going to be a title for something in between a Jedi and a Sith, and finally have true balance to the Force, blah 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 blah. I'm just whooping out my inner Star Wars right here, right now, because we finally have gotten to the point where both players are just chilling. But this does really work out in favor of PhyNix, because he's the one getting choked out in terms of resources. He's the one min-maxing. In the meantime, TASolid having a big bank, and he can keep throwing these units into the wind, can change things up. Maybe like some Marines later on, maybe some Hellions to go for a run by, because these Battlecruisers will get some really good hits will force a response and will force some reconstruction for PhyNix. And at the same time, TASolid, with every supply that comes down, he can build something. He can build anything from his production because he has so much in the bank. It seems like it's a situation where the first world country is just taking their time, just being a little bit more, just chill. It's, how do you say this? It's like the term where you know that you're winning. You're being cocky, that kind of deal. You're kind of deal. Just taking it for granted. You're taking those resources for granted. And this is something you don't want to do in the late game. If you lose one fight, sure, you have the minerals and gas behind this. But sometimes that maxed out army or that high-tech army can easily shut down all the production. Can easily shut down all your essential buildings. And you're gonna have to scramble to try and build them somewhere else on the map. So for now, TASolid, man, you wasting your time like this, not doing anything besides trying to exactly jump after such a great start with the macro. This is when many people who aren't used to playing the late game falter. They're really good at the early game. They're really good at that mid game, but when it comes to late game, they forget about how to play StarCraft in the first place. In the meantime, PhyNix has been building, has been overreaching, being very, very pesky. Tactical jump right now to retreat for those battle cruisers, I believe. Oh no, they stayed there. So what happened? What happened to TASolid? Now he's a little bit caught on an impasse. He has used his cooldown to come to the south side of the base. PhyNix in the meantime trying to get some really good hits. And that's just a cleanup crew against that one base one more time. Here we go with TASolid just trying to fly on down, trying to defend his base. That one misclick with the ability really costing him. And still PhyNix being cheeky, that missile turret getting some good hits as well. Now this one battlecruiser so low. One hit, gonna get that shut down before the Yamato comes on out. The Raven of course getting some scouting. Oh my god, the anti-armor here from PhyNix will allow these battlecruisers to get some really, really crucial damage done. And even with the disadvantage on the supply, PhyNix just rising from the ashes, taking care of all the red. Cleanup crew is a go. The anti-armor just being chewed on. And this is the red team, the red Terran with the advantage. Huh. Shudders. Shudders with that anti-armor. The Raven playing such a big role. And this is why, guys. And this is why support unit matters. It matters here in StarCraft. It matters in Pokemon that you don't have 4 attack modes. Because debuffs are the way to go. In fact, this in Overwatch, Discord are very, very effective. Doesn't matter if you're hitting your shots or not. Tactical jump on the inside one more time. Tactical jump out from TASolid. And what happened to his gas? What happened to his gas? He had so much in the back. Now he's pumping out 6 battle cruisers. They are trying to come on out. 1 starport dies. That's a big low refund there. And this is what I was talking about. PhyNix can easily take care of all the production. He's looking for those starports. He's gonna be controlling the skies. Yamato cannons being channeled, but it's too late. PhyNix now having such a distinct advantage. Gonna turn around to go for the Yamato as well. Big, big hits. Gonna clean up those ships. And TASolid now just wondering what went wrong there, and I can tell you why. PhyNix making the support role matter. The Raven with the anti-armor, absolutely stellar. Very, very effective early game interference measures, shutting down the siege tank drop. But really goes to show, in the end, you need to have something more besides that high tier units. You need to have something on the support, and that was the problem for TASolid. He got stuck with the battle cruisers. He got stuck with Vikings. He has so much minerals and gas in the bank, and he forgets how to play the late game. Having the advantage in terms of those resources allows you to branch out to so many trees. Could have gone for a hell load of Marines, Hellions, that kind of deal. Could have gone for a ground game instead, with a little bit of support of maybe like having a lot of Vikings behind this. Decide to play the ground, because look at what PhyNix built. So many missile turrets. He did give up the siege tanks, and he was on the back foot. So when TASolid went for the attack with back cruisers, and PhyNix was forced to rebuild, expecting more back cruisers, TASolid could have gone for a tech switch. Marine, Marauder, win the game with Stimpack. That's it. That's so. Nothing can be done, because PhyNix is stuck, and there's those minerals can't really pump out a number of siege tanks over the mines quickly. At the same time, forgetting about the support role, PhyNix keeping himself in this game because of those Ravens. Interference Matrix on the top parts, and just so many clutch plays there from the Ravens. Anti-armor, damn, the anti-armor giving me shivers. And also very proactive. I like how PhyNix was very proactive in going for the creeping barrage kind of deal. The missile turrets and the siege tanks in position. He just left them there, and that was an opportunity TASolid didn't go for. They could have kept crashing into that defense like a wave. The beach still loses always to the ocean because it just keeps on coming, and little by little it just gets eroded. That's what sand is. TASolid could have been the ocean, but instead PhyNix, he's the plug in the bathtub. So yeah, guys, that was a great game. I'm glad I'm glad I got a long one that was just worth all my time, all my investments. It was so many things happening. I think there was only one part where I was like, okay, nothing really happening right now, but it still goes to show higher tier play, something you can watch. And this is one of the better games I've been getting on our streak of replays, and I'm finally coming on down to the last handful. I know my schedule hasn't been the best, but at the same time, I'm a little busy with Overwatch and everything. But do please send in your replays to gamesarepool@gmail.com. And I'll see you guys in the next one. It's been fun, it's been great. It's with Daks signing off after this wonderful TVT game.